Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father, and refute thy name, and um, I'll no longer be. No, wait. I got this. I do. Um, I'll be a. I give up. Give up! Well, that was terrible. And absolutely what you should not do in an audition. Hi, I'm Danny Wason, and I've been doing theater for about 10 years now. Mainly through high school and onto the college level, with a little community theater thrown in there. So, I'm pretty familiar with the acting scene. What I'm here today to do is to give you some basic acting techniques to help develop yourself as an actor. Also, talk about the audition process, what directors are looking for in actors, and how to prepare for the audition so that nothing like what you just saw ever happens to you. The first thing I want to talk about today is speaking. Speaking is a big part of acting, and there are 3 parts to it: passion, vocal physique, and diction. Passion is the power of intention aligned with content and commitment to character. It's really being in that moment. Content is the lines being said, but intention, that's what the character wants to achieve by acting out those lines. And when an actor is passionate, it delivers an authentic and genuine performance to the audience and really makes the character all the more believable. Vocal physique is a more physiological aspect and focuses mainly on resonance and air support. Mask resonance is the combination of tracheal and nasal resonance that you can feel in the front of your face. For example, the word You feel that buzz in your face? This can actually be used as a practice tool. Simply start with the word then follow with the word one. Repeat and follow with the word two. Do this till you get maybe to 10, and this will help you get a good, resonating sound out of your voice. Good air support is essential for creating a sound that will carry to the audience. This can be practiced simply by inhaling and exhaling with the diaphragm. You're going to first inhale fully and hold your breath for increasing amounts of time each turn before exhaling. This will help expand your diaphragm. To practice combining resonance and air support, inhale fully and exhale on a vowel sound for 10 seconds, increasing the volume as you go. The third element of speaking is diction, and diction is very important. Projection means nothing if the audience can't understand what you're saying. Diction is simply the proper pronunciation of words. If you want the audience to understand what you're saying, you have to pronounce it correctly. For example, pronouncing the sound for instead of substituting fur. Now, face to face, that probably would go unnoticed. But when your audience members are sitting 50 feet away, sounds tend to get muddled. Also, accenting the consonants at the end of your words, such as T's and D's, will allow you to deliver the lines to the audience without them getting lost. I know I touched on this earlier, but I want to talk a little more about intention-based acting, or psychological gesturing. This is a method that's used by many famous and successful actors, such as Jack Nicholson, Anthony Hopkins, and Johnny Depp. It asks the simple yet, at the same time, extremely complex question of, what does the character want? Now, this could be any number of things: love, power, revenge, anything really. This method, developed by Michael Chekhov, a legendary actor and theater theorist, states that By understanding the goal of the character, it informs on how the character is to express itself physically. I had a director back in my college acting career who, if we ever had any questions about the character, he'd ask that one little question, "What do you want?" And we'd think about it. And we'd think about what was going on with the character internally as well as in relation to other characters. And it helped us learn how to play the part. I always found it immensely helpful in portraying the character in a genuine way for the audience. There are two types of psychological gesturing. There's an overall presence that's constant throughout the entire play, or at least long segments. And then there are physical behaviors that are specific to a specific point in time in response to certain situations. Let me show you an example. A generally nervous guy might have his shoulders hunched over defensively, with his arms drawn in to protect himself from possible attack. Maybe he's looking over his shoulders constantly, making sure nobody's coming up to surprise him. That's just his physical being in general, brought on by his desire to keep himself safe. In talking about acting in specific situations, it really just goes back to asking what the character wants in that moment. For example, let's assume the same character is in a scene with a scene partner in which the partner is angry at this character and is about to strike him. The timid character doesn't want to get hit, but he's not going to be the one to throw a punch, which informs that he might simply defend himself by shielding himself with his arms. Now that we've discussed the very basic fundamentals on which to build oneself as an actor, let's move on to the actual audition process and getting ready to go in there and nail it. I had the opportunity to sit down with Jason Alberty, who is the drama coordinator at Mount Mercy University, and chat about the audition process for theater at the college level, and how hopeful young performers like yourselves can prepare for it to make sure that you have the best chance possible of landing that lead role. So here I am with Jason Alberty. He is a renowned director who is a legend throughout Iowa. He's done a lot of work both on the stage as an actor and behind the scenes as a director. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to get his perspective on what goes on in casting a role, just to kind of inform on what an actor should be looking to do when preparing for an audition. So Jason, thank you again for meeting with me.
Thanks for having me.
I guess the first question is, what does the college audition process look like, and what do you do when you're running an audition?
It really varies with the college, first of all. If the college is a liberal arts college that has sort of a theatrical tradition to it, chances are pretty good it's going to be a cattle call audition at the beginning of each semester.
Okay.
If it's a college like us that has a theater, but the theater is mostly an extracurricular thing, then it can really vary. It can be a cattle call, or it can be specific to the show. So if it's specific to the show, the students will come in. They will either have been asked to prepare a monologue beforehand, or they'll do a cold reading of a scene from the show. If it's a cattle call, then tens, if not 100, students will show up. They'll each get a number, and then chronologically they will come on to stage. They will do a monologue from a classical piece. They'll do a contemporary monologue, and they may or may not do a song.
Oh, okay.
And then they're done. And that audition then will allow the director, or perhaps multiple directors, to cast the shows for that semester or that season. So at the beginning of the year, the students know what shows they're doing when throughout the year.
Oh, okay. So it's not just for the one show, it's for multiple shows.
That's correct.
Okay. But then in a smaller school without the theatrical tradition, it's more specific than to each show?
Correct.
I hope that gave you a little clue as to what to expect to happen at an audition, depending on the school you go to. Now, I asked Jason to get just a little more specific in talking about what a director is going to be looking for when casting an actor for a specific role. Here's what he said.
This is where the cruelty of directing comes in. I can tell you that the initial physical look of the actor weighs heavily on whether that actor is going to fit that role or not. The first look is absolutely, undeniably superficial.
Okay, so I mean, if they don't look the part, then odds are they're not really going to be cast as that role. If you can find somebody better, more suited, I guess, physically.
That's right. That's the initial issue. Now, there often are times where even though an actor might not be physically suited for a role, their audition is so good that your concept as a director, your concept is going to change a bit about that character. And so there are times where the physical doesn't matter if an actor is good for that role in other ways. Also, the two important things, other than the physical aspects of the actor, is one, do they look at their scene partner if they're doing a scene? Do they connect? Are they more interested in that personal connection than they are in getting the words out? I would much rather see a connection on stage and see an actor struggle with the lines in an audition than to just see an actor read lines beautifully. The second thing is, will they take direction? When it's not a cattle call, the director will oftentimes direct the actor during an audition. And if the actor can take direction, that also says a lot toward getting them the role that they want.
So if we know that the director is going to be looking for certain specific things, how should the actor then prepare to go into the audition?
That is a great question, one that many actors at the college level do not even think about. The first thing is they should be familiar with the play. If they haven't read the play, which they should at least have read a synopsis of it, know what the characters are like, so that they can prepare for that specific show. The second thing, I always like for actors to have a prepared monologue. That shows me how they deal with memorized lines, because when you're doing cold reading, there's no memorization, there's no pre-work that's done. It's all spontaneous. As you know, that's not what a play is about. A play is prepared, and a monologue will give me a much better understanding of how that actor prepares. So make sure that they understand the play that they're auditioning for. Make sure that they come with a prepared piece. The second thing is you got to relax. You got to breathe. You've got to believe in yourself and expect that mistakes will be made. You cannot beat yourself up for mistakes, especially if it's a cold reading. The director is very interested in seeing how you handle those little errors that occur. Are you cool with it? Do you beat yourself up? Does it totally cause a derailment? Those kinds of things will go heavily into deciding whether you're right for a specific role or not.
Well, there you have it. Jason, thank you very much for meeting with me.
Thank you.
This very enlightening interview. Jason knows what he's doing, and I believe him. And I think that's all we've got for you today. So thank you again for your very enlightening words of wisdom.
No problem. Hopefully they're wise.
I hope that hearing it from a bona fide professional has helped give you a better idea of what to expect at an audition, what the director is looking for when casting a specific role, and a few tips on what you as an actor can do to prepare beforehand to make sure that you have the best audition possible. Now that we know what to expect in the audition, what do you wear to one? Well, that really depends on the type of production that you're auditioning for. If it's a musical, and you know there's going to be a dance component to the routine, make sure that you're wearing clothes and shoes that you can do choreography with. According to Caroline Barry, the director of many award-winning acting and auditioning workshops, it's best to wear neutral colors to the audition. So maybe something like this simple black here, so as not to distract the director from the work you're doing on stage. Be cautious though. You don't want your clothes to make you blend into the background and make your movements hard to see. In general, it's best to wear clothes that you're comfortable in, while keeping it professional. Pick something that you can move in and breathe in, because in the end, the director is judging you based on your acting ability and your ability to relate with your scene partner, not your wardrobe. I want to talk about one more thing. Like anywhere else, it's always important to be respectful at the audition. The audition is your first impression with the director, and no director wants to work with someone who thinks they're already a Broadway star and refuses to take direction. So, follow the instructions that the casting directors give you, and at the end of the audition, thank them for their time and exit the stage. Now, before I leave you to go give this audition another shot, let's recap the points that I've made in this video. It's important that you have developed the fundamental skills necessary to perform, both physically, in terms of vocal physique, and in terms of character development, to give a genuine and believable performance. Know what the drama program is like at your school. This will tell you what you need to prepare in advance, which will generally be a monologue. Looking the part is great, but it's not essential. However, the ability to relate to your scene partner and take direction from the director are essential. Lastly, relax. Be confident in your abilities as an actor. Make the director believe that you are the next Hugh Jackman or Liza Minnelli. If you follow these simple guidelines, I'm sure that you will have a great audition. I hope my video has helped you out. Now get out there and break a leg.